So, William, yeah.
Hi there. Thanks for
Haven't
joining
been
us.
on for a while.
You
Getting
what?
excited.
Oh, yeah.
Getting excited with the press release. Kind of hard for the
That's good.
Caltrans to weasel out now on
Yeah.
getting the permits to us.
Yeah. Well, so we still don't have the permit. I think that it's just still being circulated for all of the necessary signatures
Right.
within Caltrans, but we have not been led to believe that it's being held up for any reason. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of being patient as it makes its way through their process. You know,
Caltrans is one of those bureaucracies. You have to find the right amount of pressure. You can't just depend upon them to do the right thing, but then you can't push them too hard. So, you know.
Yeah, they've honestly been really helpful. Just, you know, helping us through the process and stuff. And I guess they can only go as fast as they can. I think the one staff member who, you know, Hector, who I'm sure, you know, a lot of you know on here, I think he was assigned to another project. So yeah, I think it's just like still cranking its way through.
And bureaucracies are notoriously bad at doing handoffs when leads change like that. They're just horrible at it.
Yeah, I think that it's probably, I think it was probably picked up by Joseph or somebody else that we've been in touch with really regularly. So I don't think it's that it like got dropped or anything. I think it's just still chugging along. So yeah, we are, I guess to that end, you know, we're obviously still pushing for something in October, but we really can't schedule anything until we have the permit. So we're going as fast as we can.
And Dana, maybe an important point is,
yeah,
you mentioned the hope was we could order the Zikla parts, the planners and the armadillos.
right.
And those are 45-day lead. They're made in Spain. But SCAG vetoed that, right? They said, no, we don't, because there was a risk that might be a return cost if somehow Caltrans didn't approve them. They've indicated they're fine, but SCAG said, no, we're not taking that risk. So they're not allowing you to order those parts until the permit's in hand. So now we've got a 45-day window.
That's even
permits issued. So
that's the real issue, is that we were trying to get ahead of it and thought that we could still maintain the initial, you know, early to mid-October date by just getting head start and ordering the materials, because we have no reason to believe that they're not being approved. But if for some reason something catastrophic happened with the permit and we had to return them, the cost to do that was not something that was approved by our SCAG project manager. So essentially, as soon as we have the permit, it's like a 45-day time window. So that's kind of like when we would have to schedule the build, if that makes sense.
talking about November.
So yeah, so that's an update there. But like I said, we don't have a reason to believe that anything is wrong. So yeah, and I guess the other, you know, pending items were, the city's hustling to get the sensors up for data collection, which is great. We'll be working with the company to help with that as
just
necessary.
clarify, those are up, right? So we've got them up, and they're
oh yes,
there's some issues with the company, how well they're collecting data right now and so on. So we're getting them tuned in, but at least we're still well ahead of, it appears, a 45-day window, right?
yeah,
So we're probably going to have close to 2 months of monitoring instead of 1.
right. Yeah. So there's that. Oh, Sousa, you're muted if you have a question.
If I'm interrupting too soon, I just wanted to ask something about the sensors, Greg. So John Lamar asked if we could see the data in real time, or just at the very end of this process, or how does that work?
So the way that it works is the data is basically uploaded to kind of an internal cloud that we will have access to at the end of each day. And
Okay.
then monthly, Numina will send us reports that basically compile all of the basic information, but within the dashboard that we have access to, we will also be able to, we can like export the data and manipulate it certain ways. So that component's a little bit more interactive, but I guess
Dana,
it is.
who is we?
Yeah.
Who is we when you say access the data?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the city, you know, like Greg can have, it's basically just an online platform that they'll give us user profiles for, or user access. So we as street plans can have access to it, and the city can have access to it, but they'll be sending us street plans, the reports. And then we also will need to turn around data reports monthly to Caltrans as well. So it is collecting data in real time because it's video sensors, but it uploads it at the end of each day kind of to this online portal. And then it's going to be synthesized by Numina for us every month. If that answers your question, Susan.
Yeah, it does. And then at the appropriate time, Bill Wyrick and I wanted to discuss if there was a way to track the traffic calming effect of the project. If it slows down, you know, that kind of data. Maybe Bill can speak more to that.
Yeah, is this the right time?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and I brought this issue up when I saw the sensors being deployed. We got great notice about that, and I said, well, because I remember in a past meeting, a couple meetings actually, a long time ago, discussion about one of the primary goals is traffic calming.
Mhm.
And certainly one of the primary rationales for that the community is interested is traffic calming. And to do an understanding of the effect of that, you've got to collect some sort of average speed before and after. And I was very taken aback because I thought I'd been assured that that was going to be included in the data collection in one form or another, because it's critically important. And that it was not happening. So this came up in the city manager's report last night. And the city manager indicated that he was going to be talking with Greg and possibly others about that really needs to be there. I mean, it's really fundamental. I think that there be before and after some sort of, even if it's just a sampling and not continuous, that there be some sort of before and after sampling of average speed to see the effect on the demonstration project on traffic calming, because that's, I got to tell you, that's really important metric in terms
Bill,
of
just so I can address that too. Yeah, because I think that consulting, you guys are doing a study after the project is initiated on speeds, and but there was some consideration to do it beforehand, but there was some data from Caltrans which isn't very thorough. So we talked about it, but I know it was outside of your budget, but we do have that TDA money, and it wasn't that significant in impact on our overall budget. All these little things do add up, but we just, yeah, in discussions with the city manager, we'll just go ahead and do, you know, the city has a speed monitor box, but we can only do 2-lane roads. It won't, for 4 lanes, you have to put out hoses.
Right, and that's going to be important to have the before it goes in to get, because that's critically important. What's, you know, I mean, that's going to be one of the rationales that the community is looking for, is the amount of traffic calming from going from 4 to 2.
Yeah, so we'll do 1 week of monitoring before the project goes in, and we're just working out a special, that was a relatively routine permit that a monitoring company has. So we'll make sure we have that done for 1 7-day period. We'll have 24/7 monitoring for 1 week prior to the demo going in.
And then we can compare it
to
and
we'll have it after.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think, yeah, like Greg said, there was some Caltrans data collected from 2019.
Yeah, not close enough in time.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, there'll be people questioning the validity of the data if it's that separated in time. We need it.
No, I think it's great. I think it's great. I think, like Greg said, it was not in the project budget, but I think it's going to be really important. So I think
That's
it's
also
great that you-
pre-virus. So, you know,
Right.
I did some experimental economics in a previous life, you know, and
Oh,
when you're doing these sort of social data, you know, culture data, and so this is an experiment, and we're doing it, you know, it's a real-time experiment. You got to look at how you're structuring that data collection so it's as
mhm.
valuable and as valid as possible.
Yeah. No, agree. I think it's good. Souza, yeah.
On a related note, I spoke with one of the school board members, Shelley Griffin, and she spoke with the superintendent about possibly having an event during this demonstration project, or events, multiple events possibly, that would attract normal traffic, car traffic flow. And she said that's very doable. You know,
Yeah,
could have,
that's something going on the Nordhoff parking lot too.
yeah,
Be able
yeah,
to observe the ingress and egress with the demonstration project in a
yeah,
place.
yeah. So,
Oh, interesting.
so that's,
Maybe more than one.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
doable. So when people complain or mention that this is not real data we're collecting, you know, we can respond that we're going to have, there will be times when there's a lot of car traffic, just like normal school
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
You have to understand where Susan and I are coming from. We're committed to this, getting it done the right way, and want to have all the tools we can put in place to assure the public, assure the community about the efficacy of the design and the validity of the data comparison. So we're thinking about going forward how we use this to the most beneficial effect to end up getting into permanent construction.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Okay, great. Yeah, so I guess the other items that we're still working on, Kathy, I know we had some back and forth last week about the plants. I don't know if there was if you were able to check. I forget which nursery you're getting them from, but are they able to keep the plants, or what are we
Well,
looking at there?
my usual salesperson is on vacation right now, but I'm talking to one of the other owners of the nursery, and I just let them know what was going on. We're dealing with permits and COVID, and it's a school related to a degree project, and things had been delayed. So they said they would do their best to work with us. So they didn't, I mean, normally nurseries, you know, they want to move their material, and
I know.
they said it worked. My other slight concern is that, you know, originally we were going to plant in June possibly, and it kept, you know, it's getting pushed forward. Is, you know, by the time we get to do this, it might be the beginning of November. So the plant material that we selected, I'm just thinking it's just going to sit in those containers. It's not going to grow at all. And then we're kind of getting into our frost season and what have you. So I don't know. I had to spend more time and rethink the whole thing, but that's definitely been in the back of my mind.
Right.
Yeah, it's in a different time of the year and things. Yeah. So anyway, and then Dana, I do owe you, and I had promised you that I was going to do the calcs, redo the calcs because we have less planters. I haven't done it, but I will get it to you.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know. I just had some stuff come up.
No, I obviously just I had forgotten. I remembered.
I didn't forget.
Remembered to, no, it's okay. I need to follow up with. Yeah. Aquaflow said they would work with us on filter fabric, and Ojai Lumber also said that he would give us a discount on gravel, but he needs
the quantity.
Right. He needs the updated quantities, and that is why I had not followed up with him again, because I
really and so I'll get that to you within the next couple of days, and hopefully sooner.
So with the plants that we had originally spec'd out, is it just that they'll remain dormant until the spring?
Well, no. I mean, typically when you know, the ideal time to plant anything here is in the fall, kind of before the winter rains come. But because the days are shorter and it's colder or cooler, the roots kind of get established, but you don't see a lot of top growth, even for things that you're putting in the ground. I mean, some things will grow, but generally speaking, no, they're just going to kind of remain the same size that they are in the container. My other concern is that one of the main plants that we had suggested, and we took into consideration the input from everyone who had piped in with a list, they kind of go semi-dormant in the winter. They look great in the fall, but then in the winter, they have a short period where they don't look 100% great. And then, you know, late winter, they start flushing out again, which wasn't going to be an issue, but now it may be because of the timing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe I can make a substitute.
Is it a matter of,
Just a different plant, you know, we could, if nothing's been purchased, if there's a better plant.
Well, nothing has been purchased. I had ordered everything to keep it up, you know, secured, because it's harder to get your choice plant material later in the year at almost all the wholesale growers, except for some like real common plant material. Just because it sells out, and then, you know, they're continuing to propagate, and plants are at different sizes or stages of growth. So I could do that, is to come up with some alternates, and I'll just use the availability list from that same nursery because they're willing to work with us.
mm-hmm.
And so basically they initially were going to donate 80 plants, and then they're giving me a further beyond wholesale discount on the other plant material.
Okay.
So
Would it be ideal, Kathy, to have some sort of I mean, I'm not a landscape pro, you are, but.
no, but we work together, Greg.
I know, right? It's something
ahead.
that, I don't know, would look nice and grow somewhat in the winter and the spring. I mean, presumably we're almost pushing, I mean, because they need this 45-day period. I mean, November, December, January,
Kind of a
February,
winter
March,
project now.
April. We're out to late April with a good chance we would extend it at the end. So the spring, I mean, it's all the above, right? That looks good through the winter and the spring.
So I think what I can do is I'll spend some time. I'm just going to go kind of look on their in their catalog availability list, even though I know we're not going to order it yet, and see what I can do. And then I'll talk to the nursery. And I mean, so far they've been really good about being flexible.
Okay.
And I'll present the list to the group, and everybody can, you know, maybe with some photos so everybody can say, yeah, we like that or we don't. Some choices.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a little bit of time now. But yeah, I guess it was just the intention of having them
look good
closer. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the idea is, like, ideally we would pick them up, like, or have them delivered literally the day that we install them.
Right.
Instead of like moving them around. So
yep.
Yes. Yeah. Just let us know what they say about that. And then it sounds like, you know, I know you were trying to work a free delivery, and I guess we'll just have to.
Yeah, that may or may not happen now. I was trying to I piggyback it with another one, but you know, maybe it's $75 for the delivery. That's not that crazy.
Right. Yeah. I think
so. Okay. All right. Dee's got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, mute.
Can't hear you. No.
We heard you earlier, Dee.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because the mute symbol is off for Dee, but we can't hear her.
Right. No. We can't hear you. Do you maybe would you want to type it in the chat maybe?
No. She doesn't, I don't think she knows of it. I might have her number. I
wonder if she can hear us.
I think she can hear us.
This has happened to me before, and I'd logged out of Zoom and logged back in, and it worked.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I have a number, and I'll text her. I don't know if I do. I've got it.
Is there a phone number option she could call in on?
Does she have a button on her mic that might be turned off?
That could be it too. Because she was fine earlier. I know I've got her email. Maybe I'll just
phone number.
Almost like something times out on her.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be.
Oh, she says, okay, yeah. So she typed her question. Can you tell me the start date of the demo and how it will be rolled out to the public? So, yeah, so this is a little bit of what we were discussing in the beginning. Basically, as soon as we get the permit, the start date of implementation of the project won't be until, 45 days from receiving the permit. Oh, I think she went.
I think she's taking calls.
And so that's what we're working with for the start date of the demo. And then in terms of rolling it out to the public, we're working on a mailer that will be sent, pretty much to every property owner in the city. And, that will be letting people know what to expect, letting them know what the kind of goals are and intentions of the project. A bunch of various links to learn more information. We'll have the link to the project FAQ, which we have updated on the webpage, I believe, at this point. And then there will also be information about how to volunteer. So there's kind of, a two-part process to rolling it out to the public. It's obviously making sure as many people as possible are aware of what's happening. And then also soliciting anyone who wants to be involved in helping to build it. And basically how we do that for these projects is we have an online platform called Sign Up Genius. And on that platform, that's where we direct everybody to so that we can keep track of volunteer contact information. And we have different tasks that are organized by the day of the task. And then you can sign up for as low, or I think it's about 1 hour increments of volunteer time. So if somebody goes on and they're like, I'm really interested in painting conflict zones, we'll have the estimate, the rough day that we think that that's going to happen based on how quickly the contractor works, et cetera. And they sign up for that day and, they sign up to help from 10 a.m. to noon. And then we use that platform basically to help organize all the volunteers on the days that volunteers are going to be out helping us. And so, that's also helpful because, that'll be helpful for COVID restrictions as well, just to make sure that we are anticipating how many volunteers we might have ahead of time and we can organize everyone into small enough groups just to make sure that we don't have any large gatherings. So basically all we're going to put on the flyers and what we'll disseminate is that link to the online platform for people to go to sign up. And then, they can always reach out to us as well. I mean, our contact info is on the webpage and that sort of thing, but that's how that will work. Yes, Souza, you're muted.
Because of my dog, sorry about that. I heard you mention a mailer, and you said to every property owner in the city, or will it be valley-wide? Because so many
I'll address that, Dana. We're looking.
For clarify, yeah.
We were having. It seems to be we keep hearing about people that have not heard about the project, so we're trying to do the best we can through all the tools we have to reach out. We've had a lot of articles in the newspaper. We've had significant effort that the demonstration project's done. We've had workshops with the council. We've done a lot of effort, as you know. Still, people don't hear about it, and we're considering a possible mailer to citywide. We're looking at the cost of that as well as what we can put together on it. So we're considering a mailer to every resident and possibly every property owner, and that might be a good approach to, even then, right, people throw out mail like crazy. It doesn't mean we're going to necessarily contact everybody, but it might be another approach.
Mm-hmm.
Could I ask something, Greg? Could we maybe see if Tiffany Morris could help distribute information to the parents?
Yeah, for sure.
To the schools.
I think
they'll pay attention if it's coming from her.
Yeah, I think it's like as soon as we are able to advertise the dates and start getting volunteers and stuff, it's not just a mailer. It's like, you know, all of your guys' networks, we can send it to, even just digitally. So if that's, you know, I know that the Bike Coalition has an email list, for example, and then other varieties of social media, we can certainly send it to the school district if they can put it in a newsletter, or also send out an email blast, that sort of thing. So we can also utilize the various networks of people who have been on these calls. The mailer was just kind of, you know, I think that's a good, kind of most confident way of reaching every single person, because that's not specific to any, you know, network or who might be involved in the Bike Coalition or not. So,
Yeah, it's the non-bike coalition people I'm worried about.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and everyone should know. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Dana, I know that we're not on Facebook. The Go Ohio is not on Facebook, except for we post things, you know, that we take things from the city website, and I post it on Facebook as many places as I can. But I found something on, what's the other social media account that you have? What's it called?
Instagram.
Instagram. You have something there that is so fabulous, the question and answer thing, and I've been trying to figure out, I mean, that's what the kind of information I want to disseminate. It's just so, I thought it was so great. It's exactly what I would want to see.
Yeah, that's what we have been doing. I guess, so yeah, the reason why we haven't been using the city's Facebook is just because, I guess in the very beginning when we were starting to get information out about this project, it was much more being used for, you know, information on COVID-19. I think we can start using the city Facebook a little bit more. And
no, hang on, I think you should have your own Facebook page. I mean, I could probably even set it up. It's not, you know, and then we could still distribute it to the city, to the, there's the Ojai Valley Bicycle Coalition page, Walk Bike Ojai, Sustainable Ojai, Ojai Community Forum. All of those we can disseminate, but it feels like, you know, we need what you have on Instagram. On Facebook.
Yeah, that's good feedback. I don't think that we,
maybe that's just me because I'm not on Instagram that much. I'm all over Facebook a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So I think both are good. Both are good.
Yeah. I don't see why we couldn't make one of those and just kind of mirror the content that we have on the other page.
Yeah.
We can also do, you know, when we can also make a Facebook event as well.
Let's
you
do
know,
that.
everyone else can share on their respective pages. So there are definitely other things that we can do with social media.
Yeah, and people can sign up through that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing all of that.
Great, thank you.
So yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all I had. Like I said, I mean, we're, you know, moving as fast as we can with Caltrans, and as soon as we have indication on the permit, you guys will definitely know. We will let you all know.
Well, and please keep Greg and the rest of us on the city council and the city manager. The city manager and Greg will inform us if anything starts to, any wrinkles show up with Caltrans that seem out of pattern, seem a little different than what ought to be going on. Please let us know, because I got to tell you, we're behind the scenes. The city of Ojai has been participating more and more in some of the decision-making going on with the county regarding as much rational thinking as possible dealing with this virus. And there's been things that have come up out of county health that made no sense. And we're getting better at leveraging our small population into some influence with, you know, with these agencies outside of the Ojai Valley. So what I'm trying to say is don't just be frustrated. You know, share with our public works director and our city manager, and they'll share with the rest of us on council if something seems to be not quite right in terms of what's going on with getting these Caltrans permits processed.
Yeah,
It sounds like, I think Bill's tactfully saying, you got to pull out the guns.
yeah.
Well,
No,
they
I think
really- it's
I
really
appreciate
odd.
it.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
it,
it's tricky because Caltrans, sometimes their upper management complains, my God, we've worked, our staff has worked so hard on this permanent project and the demonstration. We have other stuff to do. So we'll hear that pushback. And they're
Yeah.
saying, let's get this wrapped up. We agree. We're saying, hey, let's get it wrapped up. And so we've heard that pushback. It's not quite as efficient with COVID going on. There's nobody, they're practically all working from home.
mhm.
And it's not as efficient with them. But in one respect, I do appreciate, I mean, there's a dozen people on a lot of these phone calls, dealing with a lot of things. But on the other side, it is Caltrans. It's an endless bureaucracy of approvals. And it's, right now we're just trying to, I was just sending a note while we're talking. I mean, their own PR group said, hey, we're on for October. And I'm saying, you guys putting us in a bad spot. Everybody agreed October. And now we still don't have a permit in hand. When are we going to get this? When can we get a commitment on a schedule for the demonstration permit? And so I'm sending that right now to everybody I can.
We're getting better at where to apply pressure. We got a really good council staff team cooperation going. I think the best in the county right now, by far, in terms of the teamwork between the city staff and council. So that results in being able to put pressure on when you need to more effectively with these larger bureaucracies.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I have to run too. Speaking of this, there's a problem with those Numina devices that I was supposed to go help on. So I'm going to run, but I appreciate everybody's time. Thanks.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, yeah, I think we can wrap up. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're, like I said, we'll have these every 2 weeks. And I feel like I've been saying this for the last like 5 meetings, but maybe by the next meeting, we will have more information on dates. So I'm just baiting you to keep tuning in. Yeah.
Well, we were so excited by that press release,
I know.
and they're obligated. It has to happen.
It's definitely, I don't think it's like I don't think it's totally out of the question for it to be, very end of October at this point. But yeah, I guess like the October installation is.
And think how much easier volunteer work is going to be able to solicit in October and November compared to
I know.
where it's going in September in terms of heat. So
Right.
cool, little cloud, we'll get more volunteers out there.
Totally.
Dana, we got to be 120 in Ojai. We couldn't have worked last Saturday.
Yeah, I'm honestly really.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was debilitating.
It would be really hard for even us to be out there in that.
It was something. I read somewhere that we were hotter than some of the weather stations in Death Valley on Sunday.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, it showed 122 at the Public Works Yard. I don't know if that was correct. I double checked it, but that was the region.
Yes. We saw 118 in the shade at our house, and I heard it was hotter in other places.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What got me was 7 p.m. Did you see it was still over 100 degrees at 7 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Arizona, so I'm used to those. I'm used to hearing those temperatures, but I wouldn't want to live in those temperatures again. So sorry about that. All right.
I think it's going to work out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we will check in again soon.
Thanks, Tina.
Bye.
Everyone.